good, Ernie and Bert? What's good to everybody? Child, I really don't understand how women don't get it, man. How they don't get it. Child, I be sitting over here in my lesbian world. In my lesbian world, and I try not to say a motherfucking thing. What's good, Must Be? What's good, So Bomb? What's good, Pretty Monita? What's good? Child. Like, oh my God. I just been catching up on everybody else's commentary and everybody else's videos and things like that. Y'all, I have to say that I had a very interesting first time encounter tonight, and yeah, I think that it's gonna go smooth sailing, I think that it will. But I can't tell the future. What's good, Queen Diva? What's good, Miss OE Star? What is good, Flo? The Beggar? What is good to everybody? Ciao. Okay, y'all. So my music came and went. But this is what I gotta say now. Cause I've been watching this fiasco that's going on with Carrie and the Bad Weave lady. Bad Weave done disrespected me so many times it ain't even funny. What's good, Sincere? Now, for whatever reason, even though I wasn't there present for Carrie's live last night, Carrie kept trying to deflect on me because of Bad Weave having an attitude. Why? Why, Carrie? Why do I need to be your human shield and your deflecting topic? Because Bad Weave got a problem with what's going on your platform. I find it highly funny, but slightly problematic that even if I ain't on the platform, the content creator still tries to blame me for the fuckery and the chaos that's going on the platform. Carrie, I didn't appreciate that. Hell, I didn't even know y'all had any issue until I was listening to Brianna's, and Brianna was talking to people up in her chat, and they said that y'all had an issue over there, so I went over there to try to hear what happened. And I heard you kept bringing my name up. And I wasn't even on that motherfucking platform. So you just gonna blame shit on me? Even though I wasn't even there? Even though I wasn't even there to defend myself? You just gonna blame it on me? What? But y'all, the one thing that I did notice, this man, that the Bad Weave lady had an issue with, this man stayed doing stuff like this. What I did not know initially, they do it, Ernie and Bert. And then when I come through and drag them, then they act like, I pulled it out the crack of my ass. But what I did notice was that Bad Weave was trying to get at that man. That man was saying some funky ass shit. Bad Weave said that Carrie let him say it because he is a man, which I've encountered that many times. Hey, Telemate. I've encountered that many times where content creators will let a man just say whatever. I did not know that the man was Jamaican, though. I did not know that. I've had a bad encounter with that same man on Lady Lives. And that's why anytime that I see him on Carrie's platform, I don't even support to click the link. I probably won't even support and drop down up in the comments if we're going to be honest. Because that man has an issue. But don't get me wrong. I'm not too fond of bad weave either. Yeah, please like my video, y'all. I'm not too fond of bad weave either. But what I do know is that that man was able to just talk his bullshit. I think based on what I heard, is that Bad Weave was trying to tell Carrie that the man should not be able to just get on her platform and say that. I ain't have no chips. Child, that was a crawfish. That was a crawfish. Jen, look at all this. That was a crawfish. But what I surmise is that the man was coming at Bad Weave. Bad Weave didn't want the man coming at her. Bad Weave wanted Carrie to nip it up in the bud. Carrie said, well, my channel ain't the worst channel. Bad Weave said, yes, it is the worst channel because you be instigating some shit. And this is my thing. Carrie, you did instigate because I wasn't even there. So why wasn't my name keep being brought up on your show when I wasn't there, when you were trying to diffuse a conflict on your show? Why? Why did J.Dunn keep being brought up because of this man and his fuckery? Child. Yeah, Karen, that's what I heard, but I didn't even know the man was Jamaican. But now with that new information, it makes a lot of sense to me why that man does and says the things that he does. On Lady Law's channel up in the black sector, y'all, that man had came at me and he said the most ridiculous stuff, telling me about how I need to be sodomized by a man and all types of crazy bullshit. So when I saw him and Bad Weave having that exchange, hey Soapy, I noticed it was something that I have seen before, y'all, because that's what that man does. But I didn't know that he was Jamaican. I do know that Jamaican men sometimes think that they overpower women, period. Whether it's a black woman, whether it's a Jamaican woman, whatever, they feel like they reign supreme. But I didn't like that I was just being brought up. In that situation, I wasn't even there to defend myself. He's always generalizing and out of pocket. Yeah. And it's crazy to me because Carrie was saying that Bad Weave was wrong. Child, I can't say who was right and who was wrong, but what I can say is that, Carrie, what makes your channel different than any of the other channels is that even on the spaceship, no woman has to worry about a man getting up there disrespecting her in that way. That might be what makes the spaceship more popular than your channel. And I have to be honest. She did say both of them were wrong. But that man didn't have no reason to be getting up there trying to attack a woman. Now, on the spaceship, many people go over there because they don't have to worry about being attacked by a man. That's why they go over there. Many women think that it's a pretty fair fight, that even if you getting drugged and cussed out, at least you getting drugged and cussed out by a woman. But you had that whole heterosexual man up there acting like a punk pussy ass bitch trying to drag a woman. And nobody saw a problem with it, child. Carrie, you had that whole heterosexual man having a bitch fit behind what a woman told him about his child. They was both talking about each other's kids. But that's what makes your platform different. Because people are not going to be willing to hit your link if they are going to open themselves to being disrespected by a heterosexual man. Absolutely not. And I have to say, shout out to Yusuf, y'all, because, child, now that's one thing. I have to say, one of the people that I watch on here, and I comment up in his chat when I can catch him live. But y'all, the person who kills me with his dragon is Yusuf. Child, it seemed like Yusuf done been studying the dang on Black History magazine. He done been to every Black History museum. He know every motherfucking thing. And when I tell y'all, when he decide to enter the realm of the beef sector, child, he go deep with it. You know, Yusuf don't like the drag at all. He don't do it often. But when he does do it, child, I listen. I listen because Yusuf be coming through with some shit. Yusuf was up there dragging with photos up in his picture or photos up in his phone of pictures of Black people who have unsolved cases and unsolved murders, and Black people who done been killed at the hands of the police officers, or Black people who have been killed because of Black on Black crime. And y'all, when Yusuf come and drag y'all, that's a different type of drag. And if I'm going to be honest, I think all of y'all sleeping up on Yusuf because Yusuf ain't going to come on here and drag like what you used to. He going to come and drag with political facts, y'all. He going to come up here and drag with the problems in the Black community. He going to get up on here and drag. And I can't do nothing but respect that. It's crazy to me how he has this opinionated standpoint, but people don't support him over there. I support him. Whenever I catch him live, I do. But people don't support him. And I'm like, but then the thing is, the raggedy ass behind the bar dude was trying to discount Yusuf's opinion because Yusuf is a gay man. But at the end of the day, he telling yo heterosexual ass about your motherfucking self. So you should feel even a type of way that a gay man needed to come through and tell you about yourself and tell you about the errors of your ways. But then he had to be all these types of derogatory names, even though he was telling your motherfucking punk pussy ass the truth. People be sleeping on Yusuf, y'all. But even with Yusuf coming through and saying what he had to say about the matter at hand, you know, I feel like nothing was really squashed. And then Carrie came on tonight and I was up in her clouds. And she was speaking in patois and just going off on everybody. And well, not even everybody, because I didn't even hear her going off on behind the bar. She was just going off on Bad Weave, which I'm not a friend to Bad Weave. I can't stand that bitch. I had to drag her last night on Pizarro's. But it's like, how you going to check Bad Weave before you check this man? Child, when does that happen and how does that work? Now you got to come through speaking patois. Y'all, I don't know patois, but I do have the ability. What's good, New Orleans, Leo? I do have the ability to utilize context clues, y'all. And so Carrie was just going crazy in the patois, but I was using the context clues to be able to figure out what she was talking about. And all I heard was her going after the Bad Weave lady. But the person who is truly the problem is behind the bar. From what I heard, well, the incident happened on Carrie's last night, and then it carried over into today. Jen the Goddess. From what I heard, Bad Weave, well, not, it was the behind the bar man up there. He was talking about the fact that his child wanted to be a professional, either football player, I think, or a basketball player. And he was trying to figure out how to let let his son down because his son is not good at the sport. And he didn't have the heart to let his son know that he's not good at the sport. So he was asking for the advice of Carrie and the people on the panel and the people up in the audience. And so Bad Weave clicked the link trying to give her advice on how he could let his son down gently. But Bad Weave also let him know that her son does quite well and was an MVP on his own team and is currently being scouted. And y'all, that's how it went left. Because then Behind the Bar was saying, well, the only reason why Bad Weave's son was getting scouted is because she over there sucking dick behind the scenes to help her son out. Like, that's some fucked up shit to say, especially when you a black man yourself. Now, if you had success up in your life behind the bar, and somebody had came through and told you that the only reason why you had success is because your mama sucked a dick, you wouldn't like that. But you was right there telling that woman that the only reason why her son is having success is because she's sucking dick. And then that's whenever she told you that she was a married woman. He crossed the line with that. What's good, Talent? Talent said, J.Dunn, many women in the beef sector cake for these misogynists like GX, Kiki, Behind the Bar, Carruthers. I don't know what's wrong with them. I really don't, Talent. I don't. Because it's crazy. The misogynist that he named, y'all. Let me put this comment up here. Child, the misogynists that he named have all been men that have came at me and tried to use my sexuality as a target and a reason for them to come at me. GX did it on Buddy Lee's, and I have the footage over here. Kiki did it on the Miss O's platform. The Miss O deleted the video. Behind the Bar did it on Lady Laws. Lady Laws still has the video up. Carruthers did it on the Miss O's. Child, they all do it, Talent. And I don't know why. What's good, Glossy Bossy? But I find it very interesting that you trying to knock down the next growing young black man. Because why? Ain't you a black man that you want us to respect and to understand? But you want to knock down the next growing black man. And then you want to have a problem with his mama. Because you raising a black man and the black man that you raising ain't doing too well. He might be sorry. And when I say sorry, I mean as far as, being a sorry player up in the sport. He might need to be the bench warmer. He might need to be the water boy. But, oh yeah, please like my video, y'all. I'm not going to be here long at all. Child, I just came on here to say this real quick because I was just listening to it and I'm like, what? But he might be the water boy. So you cannot get mad at this black woman and her child having an opportunity. You cannot be hating on somebody's child. That was the crazy part to me. And I know Carrie was trying to be mutual, but at the end of the day, Carrie kept asking what was the difference between her channel and any of these other channels. And I can say for certain, Carrie, the difference is many of these other channels, unless you are on a man's channel, you don't have to worry about a man coming at you in that way. Even on the spaceship, you don't have to worry about a man coming at you in that way. But on your channel, the man was able to just come through and say some bullshit. And especially when the people were saying that ain't his first time doing it, that he done did that before. And he just permitted to be able to do that. And then now Carrie mad more with the woman than the man. Carrie said she doesn't want anybody telling her how to do her platform or how to control her platform. And y'all, I completely understand that. But in the same breath, you can't fault the person who got offended because this man was talking crazy. Okay, so Dear Self said on the spaceship, gay men always fight. Gay men always fight with women. It shouldn't matter the sexuality of a man. A man is a man. Well, that's true, Dear Self, but with this situation, it was a heterosexual man being disappointed in his son's athletic abilities versus a heterosexual woman who had a son who was doing really well. And that heterosexual woman got up there to try to give advice to the heterosexual man on how he can approach his son. And that's how this mess broke off. Gay men do it, but that's all across the B sector. But straight men have the habit, Dear Self, of trying to say you need to be right, even to the point to where when that heterosexual man was saying that to the bad weave lady, that heterosexual man said she needs to suck dick to get her child into the MVP or whatever he is doing with his little sports career. Then he also said that the only way that her child is going to succeed further is for her son to be sucking dick. It happened last night on Carrie's. And it's like, so now her son got to be sucking dick because he being successful. But the gay men in the sector, Dear Self, they don't be talking about people getting successful by sucking dick, or at least not people's kids like that. But this straight heterosexual man on Carrie's said that the only way that woman's son could reach the potential that he set out to be is because he needs to be sucking dick. And that's all because he was upset that his own child has not reached that potential. And it's like, what? Yeah, that's what this argument came to be about. Yeah, I listened to it because I heard people mentioning it, but yeah, I didn't know what it was. And so I really don't come and speak on nothing until I listen to it myself. Dear Self, let me see. J.Dunn, they talk up under our clothes all the time and equally disrespectful. I am pro-woman. Well, see, that makes us different because I'm not a feminist at all, Dear Self. Not at all. Mm-mm. I do not follow the feminist movement at all. But what I do say is that even with the gay men talking under our clothes, so do the women up in the sector. If I had to count how many times my clothes were talked under, it would be women that did that, not gay men. I just have to be honest with you. But the fact is, I'm talking about two parents who are heterosexual people who were talking about their own son's accomplishments individually. And they got into a whole argument to where it ended up going left, but the man made it go left. Not everybody got to be sucking dick to get into the MVP or to get into the NFL or to get into the NBA. Not a mama got to suck dick. Not a son got to suck dick. All because he don't want to acknowledge that his son is inadequate when it comes to being an athlete. That didn't make sense to me. Because his son did not do as well as that other lady's son did, then he started coming out the pocket about a whole bunch of shit. But meanwhile, he forgets that he cams up and we can see that he is a short, stubby somebody, and his son probably took right on after him. So that's the reason why his son might not be that well up in the sport. If anything, I feel sorry for his child. If he is like that with us, imagine. Well, that's what he said too. He told his son that his son wasn't good enough. That's why Yusuf got up there and went in his ass and said that he was starting the trouble within the black community by trying to instill low self-esteem within his own son and trying to berate his own son to the point to where his own son might be one of those men that grow up later on down the line and abuse black women and say crazy things to black women and have children with black women that they don't take care of or potentially end up having domestic violence issues. Yusuf was really, really deep with what he said. But at the end of the day, this man told his son these things. So if your daddy is the one that's telling you that you ain't good enough and things like that and being harsh to you, then how do you expect the son of his to think that he can overachieve and do anything with his life? But then this same man is trying to down that woman, Bad Weave, and I ain't even caping for her because I don't even like her like that. I had to cuss her out last night on Pizarro's. But how you gonna knock Bad Weave for her son's accomplishments while you are tearing your own son down? It makes me think back to the generational curses that we talked about with Rico and his mama. Child, 9 times out of 10, somebody down talked behind the bar and actually made him not feel good about himself. And this is the reason why he could have this thought process and mentality to speak on his own son and his shortcomings. There is something different, I believe, with hearing something from a straight person versus a gay person, or better yet, a straight man versus a gay man. Gay men say a lot of stuff, but I mean, as a lesbian, I could clock them right back. But what I have a problem with is straight men trying to speak on me, or straight men trying to speak on that lady and her son. Straight men that have their own families that they need to be guiding into the right direction and level of success. But then they want to have a problem with how the next woman is raising her child and the fact that her child is outdoing his child. And they were just allowed to argue. The man was allowed to say whatever he wanted to say. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, when I encountered that man, oh, let me take this comment down. Oh, she said, I am not a feminist either, but a nigga is a nigga. It's the same offense, but I get it. So let's jump in. You know, dear self, I just was just thinking, I was just looking at the outside of things. And it's funny because how on that gay panel that Shelly did, where people were questioning us in the community, the LGBTQIA community, and how we turn on each other and how we don't respect each other. And all I saw on Carrie's was straight people doing the same thing, but straight people don't even realize that's what they're doing. Shelly did a whole panel. The panel that she said that I ruined. What's good, BB? The panel that she said that I ruined, and it was about the fact that homosexual people disrespect each other. The gays disrespecting lesbians, lesbians disrespecting the gays and lesbians disrespecting the trans people disrespecting the gays and lesbians. And then now we see these straight people who are raising sons disrespecting each other. And it's almost like out of jealousy. And if that girl, and y'all, I don't know, Bad Weave. She could have been lying for all I know. But if her son is doing well, then why wouldn't that heterosexual black man be proud that it's another black boy that's doing well out here? He was amazing. He was amazing, Ernie and Bert. Yeah, BB, I'm not going to be here long. I'm probably going to be off of here up in a couple of minutes. But he was amazing with what he said, because it's just like, child, heterosexual people disrespect each other, disrespect each other's kids, envious of the accomplishments of each other's kids, and all this kind of stuff. That man was simply mad because his son is not good at a sport. Then he got mad because Bad Weave came up there trying to give him advice and stated that her son was good at the sport. And he couldn't even take constructive criticism without him going off the deep end. Which means, does his bitch ass have his period right now? Behind the bar, was your period on? What was going on? And please love my video, y'all. Yeah, I call that girl Bad Weave because her name UNC girl Bad Weave. So I just call her Bad Weave to differentiate. But it's like, how you gonna be mad? You ain't gonna take the advice? Child, you will be the one to probably try to hype up your kid to do something foul to the next child because your child is inadequate. And the thing is, you need to be trying to build your child up, not tear him down because he is not fulfilling the accomplishments that you want him to have. And if it is true that he's Jamaican, I don't know too much about Jamaican people, but I do know that they don't care too much for gay people. And that's across the board. And I do know that many Jamaican men think that they rule over women. They think that their opinion matters more than a woman. They think that they have the right to be able to talk crazy to women. And so that's all I saw right there. So even though Carrie was trying to remain neutral in the situation, at the end of the day, that man was wrong in my opinion, because most of the time when I go to Carrie's channel, I typically go there to have conversation with females. I'm not trying to get up there to have a conversation with a straight man that might tell me I need to be raped, or I need a dick in me, or I need to have a dick shoved down my throat, or anything stupid like that. Because the man has told me that before. He told me that before on Lady Lies. But that's the reason why whenever I see him on Carrie's platform, I don't even click her link, because I know how he can be. And again, I don't blame Carrie for what he did towards me. I learned about him in the black sector on Lady Lies. But I know that he ain't going to change himself. So if he is on Carrie's, then no, I won't click no link to Carrie's. But Bad Weave did. And she ended up having a rude awakening with his ass. And I guess she was upset about how Carrie handled it, which Carrie can handle her platform the way that she chooses. I'm not sitting here saying, and hey, TaylorMade and RMD, I'm not sitting here saying that Carrie was wrong, but I'm trying to give her a different perspective on how it looked on the outside. Because that man had a whole hissy fit. Almost makes me feel like he felt offended that a woman would have the nerve to get up there to try to critique him on how to be a better parent or a better father for his son. Because if you knocking your son down and making your son not have the best self-esteem, then look at what you raising and what you bringing up out here. If you feel like somebody who has a successful son, that the mama had to suck dick to get the son there, that the son had to suck dick for him to get there, then you are essentially saying that people have to perform gay acts to be successful, and you trying to provide a crutch on why your son ain't successful. BB said, "This is why I refuse to grace my presence with such ignorance, especially when you are unwilling to learn 100%. I'm speaking of those types of people only." Carefree said, "Carrie always lets her friends get dragged on her page. Jay, or no, is that Jay? Yeah. No, it's I don't know why people deal with her." Child, I have to look closer to my laptop because y'all, I'm about to go to bed in a few minutes. But I was just listening to that and I was like, come on now, Carrie. And this ain't me trying to drag Carrie or have a beef with her. But it's like, Carrie, this conversation, me being on the outside looking in, I understood how both sides were passionate about it. But to me, I just felt like the man felt like he was too manly to take the advice of a woman. When in all actuality, if he had sat back and actually took that advice from that woman, it might help him. But maybe he thinks that women are beneath him, so he don't even have to listen or take the advice. I don't know. Hey, Louie. Louie said Yusuf was cool until he started making generalized statements about all melanated men. People were triggered last night. Well, I think that Yusuf went there because the man started making generalizations about gay men. When Yusuf first started speaking to him, he first called Yusuf the F word, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, called him a homosexual. Now, when you look on the screen, you see a black man when Yusuf is speaking. You don't see a homosexual first, or at least I don't. Especially whenever you process what Yusuf is saying out of his mouth, that's a black man speaking to you. That ain't no homosexual man first. And I think that was the thing. Hey, Guardo, I see you. I think that was the thing, y'all. Like, as soon as Yusuf started speaking, yeah, BB, you got to go look at that. Go look at Carrie's Live, child. Girl, you going to have to look at it. It's like, it's easily about an hour. If you red ball it, it's about an hour and a half worth of a segment that you can look at, because I think the live itself was like 5 hours and some change. But if you look at it, it's like, what? So when Yusuf started speaking, this black man didn't even recognize him as a black man, but recognized him as a homosexual. Because because Yusuf was telling this man the error in his own ways. And this is the thing that made Carrie panel different than most of the panels. Because these homosexual men think they can talk and run over the lesbians like myself, because he did it on Lady Laws. That same man ran over the heterosexual woman just like he did with Bad Weave on Carrie's, and then turned around and ran over the black gay man just like he did with Yusuf. So who does he respect? Clearly, he only respects heterosexual men. Because he done disrespected me as a lesbian. He done disrespected Bad Weave as a heterosexual woman. And he disrespected Yusuf as a homosexual man. So it's clear with process of elimination, he only has respect for heterosexual men. And that's problematic, especially with the views and the hate speech that he put out there. You ain't got to watch it tonight, BB, but maybe at some point you should look at it so you can see what I'm talking about. Like, that was just all types of hate speech, y'all. But yeah, I had just looked at that and I wanted to come and get my 2 cents, y'all, before I go to bed. Child, I had a pretty good day today. I had a pretty good day. And it's funny, y'all, because today is Kimmy's birthday, which I knew that today was Kimmy's birthday because I doxed Kimmy. But also today was my mama's posthumous birthday. And it's crazy, y'all, because I'm telling you, when my exes try to come out the woodwork for my mama's birthday, they do. But then also I've been conversing with a new young lady who is in my area. She's here in Georgia. And so, I just had a good time really reflecting on things and weighing my options because I'm not into nothing crazy right now. But I had a good time just reflecting on everything that's happened and how time has flown by. And so, you know, it was a pretty good day. It was a pretty good relaxed day. Um, Now I know that people been threatening me and stuff like that, but I do plan to be out in the streets this weekend. So we'll see what happens after that. I'm gonna make sure I have to be locked and loaded. But yeah, I wanted to give my 2 cents about what I just saw on Carrie, y'all. If you catching a replay, please like the video. If you up in here, like the video. Please share the video if you have sharing capabilities. And if you can, watch Carrie so that you can see what I'm talking about. Because yeah, heterosexual black men think that they could just dominate everybody. But then as soon as they are confronted by another heterosexual black man, then they ain't got nothing to say. And so that's the crazy part for me. But either way, y'all, thank y'all for joining me. Y'all take care, be blessed, don't stress. I'll talk to y'all later.